Hi, my name is Andrew Deskins, and I'm making this video in support of my disability appeal. Again, I'm 23, and I have a genetic form of Parkinsonism, which is, one, fairly rare, and two, kind of tricky to describe with just words, kind of what it's like living with the disease. So I figured I'd make this video to kind of show you what it's like, kind of doing a balancing act between off time where I can't move at all and dyskinesia, and just dealing with my daily life and the unpredictability of it, um, especially during the transition times when my medication is wearing off and I'm waiting for my next dose to kick in, which at this point, those are about every 2 hours. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the footage. I'll be describing some of what's going on as we go along. So this video is from my deep brain stimulation consultation at OHSU back in September on the 21st. I was off my medication, and even you can see from the simple balancing task that it's so difficult for my body that it kind of forces my arms to lock like that. My entire back stiffened up. My left hand started tremoring, and it was extremely painful, as you can probably tell if you look at my facial expressions. And again, here's another balancing task, just on a slight incline. Um, what's probably pretty easy for you, and even for me when I'm on my medication, is pretty much impossible for me to do off. I mean, you can see that my body starts locking up and pulling itself into strange postures. And if I were to try to do this or really continue functioning physically at any level, my condition will just continue to worsen. My hand will tremor more and more, my body will lock up more and more, and I'll be in more pain. And also, if I do that, it results in a longer interval between my dose and when it kicks in again. As you can see, another balancing task. I completely failed it. And here we get into the coordination tasks. And keep in mind, these are old. I mean, my left side is certainly worse, but I haven't done these since. My right side may have caught up a little bit. And again, the deeper I get into an off, both sides are more affected. As you can see, though, my left or my right at this point is not really too bad, but then when you get to my left, it really just completely locks up and is non-functional. And so again, my left side is much worse, but again, it really doesn't matter once I get into an off because neither side really works, and I can't even really sit comfortably. If you notice, I'm shifting around in my chair a lot, just kind of moving a lot because it's just the only way I can really be as comfortable as possible. Because the more I sit in one position, the more painful it becomes. So, you can see me doing different coordination tests, still kind of a similar result. And they did the off tests and the on tests, and the on tests were fine. That's not the problem. I'm still responding to medication, but the problem is the on time at this point is so unpredictable and short and few and far between, that I'm frequently, I have a transition period every 2 hours with my dose, and you know, so with that, I have to time it around eating. I have to time it around any activity I want to do during the day, and I frequently end up lying on the ground for up to an hour for my medication to kick in. Because if I can feel really any discomfort in my body at all, I know that trying to get up and work through it is really a risky proposition where I risk a complete dose failure or really leave it open. I don't know if it's really leave it open induced dyskinesia, but it will trigger dyskinesia for pretty much the entire period of my dose.
Right.
And I also experienced dose induced leave it open dyskinesia as well. So there's really no wiggle room with my dosage at this point, and that makes functioning really at any level kind of impossible. And here you see me walking up and down the hall. You can tell I'm kind of stiff. That's about as fast as I can walk at this point.
Is that the fastest you can walk?
As you can tell, I'm really kind of having to think about even putting one foot in front of the other. If you look at my left hand in particular, it's really stiff. Neither arm is really swinging naturally.
Are you in pain?
My left arm is going to start to, or my left hand will start to tremor, excuse me. And again, if I were to keep walking like this, it would just continue to get worse. My posture would be continue to get worse. I'd really bow forward, and it would be difficult to stand, walk. So again, this is why I lie on the ground so frequently, is so that I can just get through this as quickly as possible and get what little functioning time that I have. Um, and that's, again, this may not really be typical of Parkinson's patients, but Parkinson's is very unique from patient to patient, and again, I'm very rare, so I do see some kind of stranger symptoms. Um, and so again, I can lay on the ground. Sometimes it's only half an hour. Sometimes it's up to an hour. But again, so this is what it's like without meds. This is just in the morning, and the
Hey,
morning
why
is
are you
always
laying
the
down on the
roughest. But
floor?
again, I can end up in this boat any time of the day if it's a transition period, which is every 2 hours. So that really splits my day up into time. Whatever little usable time I have is completely worthless, really, because it can't be predicted. And then here is my most recent appointment with Dr. Pfeiffer at OHSU. We'd been driving, and this dyskinesia started in the car, and it resulted in my body being completely um, out of my control, locked up, but still kind of moving like this. And my mom had to walk me in a wheelchair. I laid down in the lobby of the neurology lobby before the appointment for about a half hour, and I had a little bit of on time with my next dose. But then just sitting in this chair waiting for the doctor was uncomfortable enough that it triggered this dyskinesia. So I really ended up with dyskinesia for almost 4 hours straight.
Walk. Take a video of you walking. What would happen if you walked? I don't know, and I want to find out.
But again, so this is kind of the predicament I'm in. Is I just am always walking kind of a tightrope between dyskinesia and offs.
Her appointment's about now. We're supposed to see Dr. Pfeiffer. He's pretty dyskinetic.
And
He's
I
never
really
been
can't
quite like this
work through this. It's just I have
So,
to just try to minimize what little on time I have.
Anyway, we're just getting a little
Again, I can't
video of
drive
it.
at all. Before I was just worried of being stuck
It's been
if
going
my
on now
dose
for
kind
a
of
couple hours,
failed
actually.
at a
So I don't know when
unexpected
he's,
time.
he's
But
finishing
now
up
with the
this thing,
dyskinesia
so
is a problem too. I don't drive at all because
all right,
it's also
thank you.
dangerous just to drive. I mean, I would be a danger to
Just
myself
come
and
in and
anyone on the
see
road
kind of
if I were to
what's going
drive like
on.
this. And so and the problem also is I wouldn't be able to get to an employer or a job site. They would never be able to rely on me, and schedule me for any kind of work, really. And the problem is, even though at my own house everything is set up optimally, I have the same problem. It's perhaps a little better, but it's certainly nowhere near enough predictability to work and from home, because I would need to be consistent. I would need to find jobs, and I would have to be reliable enough that I would have a good professional reputation to have any kind of consistent work, even well below the significant work cutoff. And again, I'm submitting this video. I really just would like you to consider it when you're considering my appeal, because it's kind of a key time for me with disability and potentially needing Medicare before I'm off my dad's insurance. And I know you need to be on that in 2 years before 26, or you need to be on disability for 2 years for Medicare, and I'm almost 24, so this is really kind of cutting it close for potentially not being covered. And I'm having deep brain stimulation surgery soon, which may give me the ability to go back to work. I certainly hope that it does, but it's no guarantee, and it's going to be a long process. So I'm really asking that you appeal my disability. And best case scenario, I'm able to go back and do some work or retraining and work for a longer period of time with this new surgery for as long as I can before I unfortunately become truly and permanently disabled down the road. But again, at this point, it's really my greatest hope that I'm able to work again after this surgery. So thank you for considering my appeal, and that's it. Okay, and sorry about that. I just wanted to say on a quick note, after I listened to that whole video again, the sound from the final clip is a little bit out of sync. That is the sound from that video, but I forgot to turn off the audio as I was recording the audio track. So rather than do it again, I just thought I'd kind of put a little explanation at the tail end of the video. So thank you again for considering my appeal.